हरि ओम् नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतायाः प्रथमभागस्य 33तमं दिनम्। द्वितीयाध्यायस्य 18 श्लोकः। अन्तवन्त इमे देहाः नित्यस्योक्ता शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्मात् युध्यस्व भारत। अत्र पदच्छेदः। अन्तवन्तः इमे देहाः नित्यस्य उक्ताः शरीरिणः अनाशिनः अप्रमेयस्य तस्मात् युध्यस्व भारत। That's a typo. अस्तु। अन्तवन्त इमे इत्यत्र विसर्गस्य लोपः। पुनः देहा नित्यस्य पुनः तत्रापि विसर्गस्य लोपः। पुनः नित्यस्योक्ताः तत्र गुणसन्धिः। अनाशिनः अप्रमेयस्य अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य इत्यत्र विसर्गस्य पुनः उत्वे तत्र गुणसन्धौ पुनः पूर्वरूपसन्धिः। पुनः तस्मात् युध्यस्व पुनः तत्र जष्टुं भवति तकारस्य अन्ते। युध्यस्व भारत। अनन्तरम् अत्र पदार्थं पश्यामश्चेत् अत्र अन्तवन्तः अत्र अन्तः यस्य अथवा यस्मिन् वा इति अन्तवान् अथवा अन्तवत् इति। पुनः पुंलिङ्गे बहुवचने अन्तवन्तः इति प्रथमा बहुवचने। पुनः इमे देहाः अन्तवन्तः नाम one which has end, that is अन्तवान् and बहुवचने अन्तवन्तः. So देहस्य विशेषणम् अत्र देहाः अन्तवन्तः, the dehas have end and देहाः नाम शरीराणि. पुनः नित्यस्य उक्ताः अनन्तरं शरीरिणः। अत्र शरीरिणः एतद् शरीरिन् इति प्रातिपदिकं। शरीरम् अस्य अस्ति इति शरीरिन्। पुनः तस्य षष्ठी एकवचने शरीरिणः पुंलिङ्गे। पुनः अनाशिनः एतत् पुनः नाशः यस्य अस्ति यस्मिन् अस्ति इति नाशि, न नाशि इति अनाशि इत्युक्ते यस्य नाशः न विद्यते इति अनाशि, तस्य षष्ठी बहुवचने अनाशिनः। पुनः अप्रमेयस्य अत्र अपि प्रमेयं नाम यस्य प्रमाणं शक्यते तत् प्रमेयं। one which can be measured is प्रमेयम्. अप्रमेयं नाम one which cannot be measured and of that is अप्रमेयस्य। तस्य इति अप्रमेयस्य षष्ठी एकवचने। तस्मात् युध्यस्व युद्धं कुरु इति लोट् लकारं मध्यमपुरुषे एकवचनान्तं रूपम्। अनन्तरं भारत इति सम्बोधनारूपम्। अस्तु, इदानीम् अन्वयं पश्यामश्चेत् अत्र सन्ति इति क्रियापदम्। अत्र इमे देहाः अन्तवन्तः उक्ताः सन्ति। अत्र उक्ताः सन्ति, so these were all told and किम् इति उक्ताः सन्ति? इमे देहाः अन्तवन्तः इति उक्तम् अस्ति इत्यस्मिन् अर्थे इमे देहाः अन्तवन्तः उक्ताः सन्ति. So these bodies, they have end and that is told. So तथा उच्यते. So इमे देहाः अन्तवन्तः उक्ताः सन्ति. अन्तवन्तः सन्ति इति उक्तम् अस्ति इति तत्र विस्तरेण वक्तुं शक्नुमः. So इमे देहाः अन्तवन्तः उक्ताः सन्ति. इमे देहाः केषाम् अथवा कस्य इमे देहाः सन्ति इति चेत् अत्र शरीरिणः, अत्र यस्य शरीरमस्ति तत् शरीरी, तन्नाम आत्मा शरीरी भवति. शरीरं शरीरी तथा आत्मानात्मा इति शरीरी शरीरम् इति दृष्टवन्तः. अत्र शरीरी नाम आत्मा. आत्मनः इमे देहाः, the dehas which belong to this atma, they have end and that is told. पुनः शरीरिणः इत्यस्य विशेषणं नित्यस्य. So all these are विशेषणम्स for आत्मा. आत्मनः इति अस्माभिः योजनीयम्. आत्मनः इमे देहाः अन्तवन्तः उक्ताः सन्ति. आत्मनः इत्यस्य विशेषणानि इमानि. अत्र अनाशिनः आत्मनः, अप्रमेयस्य आत्मनः, नित्यस्य आत्मनः, शरीरिणः आत्मनः इमे देहाः अन्तवन्तः उक्ताः सन्ति. And now let's see one by one later. But अत्र हे भारत तस्मात् युध्यस्व. So all these bodies of this Atma, they have end, and that is already told. So hey Bharata, so you do fight. It's a literal meaning. Tasmat yuddham kuru iti sarlaha artha. अत्र अनाशिनः इत्येतद् अस्माभिः दृष्टं. यस्य नाशः न जायते. We have seen multiple times. So it's a त्रिकाले अस्ति. तथा तस्य क्षयः न भवति इत्यपि अस्माभिः पूर्वम् अव्ययत्वात् पुनः निरवयवत्वात् आत्मीय अभावात् च अव्ययं भवति. अव्ययत्वात् तद् नाशं न प्राप्नोति. पुनः इट्स् आल्सो डायरेक्ट्लि सेड् न कोऽपि नाशयितुं शक्नोति इत्यपि अस्माभिः दृष्टम्. अतः अनाशिनः, अत्र अनाशी भवति आत्मा. And next is आत्मा नित्यः. That is also we have seen. यतः त्रिषु कालेषु अपि न जातु इति श्लोकेन तत्र अस्माभिः दृष्टम् आत्मा नित्यः इति. शरीरी, because it has शरीरं, so it is called शरीरी. And अप्रमेयः, so there we need some vichara. अस्तु. So in this entire shloka, the point that it tries to say is यथा पूर्वस्मिन् श्लोके आत्मा अविनाशी तथा आत्मा सर्वगतः इत्येवम् अस्माभिः दृष्टं, तथा अस्मिन् श्लोके आत्मा अप्रमेयः इति अस्माभिः दृश्यते. So that is the final takeaway from this shloka. It tries to say आत्मा अप्रमेयः and अनात्मा प्रमेयः. So that is the final conclusion. अत्र अप्रमेय शब्दस्य किञ्चित् विचारं कुर्मः. अत्र प्रमेय नाम यस्य प्रमाणं शक्यते तत् प्रमेयम्. One which can be measured is प्रमेयम्. यद् प्रमाणं करोति तत् प्रमातृ अथवा सः प्रमाता. One which measures is प्रमाता. So again, येन प्रमाणं क्रियते तत् प्रमाणम्. One which is used to measure is called pramanam. So there are three terminologies we should know. All these three are related. So prameyam, pramanam, pramata. So pramata nama the pramanasya karta, pramata. One who does the action of measuring is pramata. And one which is measured is prameyam. That is the object. And one which is used to measure, that instrument is actually called as pramanam. Pramata pramanena prameyam pramati. So this is a complete sentence. Astu. So these three things we will learn. Atra kim uchyate atma apremeyah. Tannama we cannot measure the atma. That's the literal meaning of prameya shabda. So atra pramanam nama, it's a measurement or measuring is actually called as pramanam. Atra asmin prasange kaha arthaha iti chet indriyaihi grahitum na shakyate ityasmin arthe aprameya shabdaha. So aprameya means which cannot be measured by indriyas. So here I can ask how indriya can measure things. It can only see the things. For example, yada vayam netram vayam swikurmah chet netram tu pramanam bhavati. So netram is a indriyam, that is a pramanam, that is it is an instrument to measure. So what it measures? It measures the variations in the color. So how a particular color is darker, lighter, and what are different colors, and the intensity or the lightness or darkness of those colors is measured by the netram. But netram doesn't see the objects, or it doesn't actually see the forms of what it sees. अत्र नेत्राभ्यां रूपाणि न दृश्यन्ते वस्तुतः नेत्राभ्यां तत्र वर्णविवेकः एव नेत्राभ्यां जायते. So you just netram can actually help you to identify the different colors and the variations of those colors. Later from that information we arrive at the form. So what object the netram sees. So basically technically if you see, the netram just does the job of measuring the light. It just measures the light and the variation of different colors and the frequency variations and how intense or light that particular color is. It just measures it. So in that way, every indriyam of ours is a measuring instrument. It just measures different parameters of this jagat. So netram measures the light, and similarly the shrotrendriyam measures the sound waves, the wavelength. It just measures the wavelength. It just measures the different sounds. That's it. But later, because of our other faculties, we understand that sound belongs to this animal, that sound belongs to this particular instrument. That is all recognized later. But Shrotrendriyam alone cannot distinguish these sounds. It can just measure the sounds. And similarly, the Twakindriyam, if you take, it can actually measure the temperature. It can say how what is the temperature, but whether the temperature is Sheetam or Ushnam is decided by different faculty. So in a way, all our indriyams just does the job of measuring some parameter of this jagat. Okay, tatha pashyamachet. If you are able to see some book, that means your netrendriyam can actually measure the light emitted or light coming from that book. And later, because of different faculty, it is understood that this is the in the form of book, so it understands that it is book. Okay, but netram alone, netram just captures the light. So tatha pashyamacha tatra pustakam premeyam bhavati. So it's a book is measured, so its pustakam is premeyam. So in that way, atma is not premeyaha. So it says atma is not measurable. That means you cannot measure with any of the indriyas. That means you cannot sense the atma with any indriyams. So that's the final takeaway here. Atra kimuchyate, you cannot sense with any indriyams means it's actually said as indriyagocharam, manogocharam, tatha vagagocharam iti uchyate. So you cannot actually sense with indriyams. You cannot actually imagine what it is with your manas, and you cannot also describe what it is with your walk. So that is what is atma. So because of these things, atma is actually called as aprameya. So aprameya means it cannot be visualized, it cannot be sensed, it cannot be described, and that is aprameya. And atma is aprameya, and anatma is premeya. Kimartham? Anything which is anatma, you can actually either you can feel it or you can actually sense it with your indriyams. So that is premeyam, and atma is aprameyam. It is atma aprameya. So hope this is clear. So this is one thing where we have to take away. So atma aprameya, anatma premeya, first thing. And second thing is this is some contradiction, it may happen, but vayam asmabhihi shrutam. So we say sometimes I have seen myself, I have experienced this soul, and such words we hear actually normally, right? Few say that during meditation I experienced myself. So all those things are actually like a virodham for this particular thing. So if you can actually witness or if you can experience something that is not the atma. Okay, this is somebody says I'm experiencing this soul or I'm experiencing this thing. That means you are actually putting that soul or atma, what I'm assuming the soul is equivalent to atma in their perspective. If you are saying you are experiencing that soul or atma, that means atma becomes premeya. Then if it is premeya as per this particular thing, then what you are experiencing is not real atma. Okay, so that is one thing. You can churn on that later on this topic. So the idea here is Atma is aprameya. It cannot be visualized, it cannot be seen or sensed by any of the indriyas. That is aprameya. So now the next thing is why it cannot be seen. So atra यदि वयं वदामः आत्मा प्रमेयः इति आत्मानम् अहं पश्यामि इति यदि वदामः चेत् कः पश्यति इति प्रश्नः भवति. इत्युक्ते आत्मा प्रमेयः भवति चेत् तर्हि तत्र प्रमाता कः? अत्र प्रमातारं विना तत्र प्रमेयं न भवति. So you cannot say something is measured without having some measurer and without having some measuring instrument. So अत्र अस्माभिः वक्तव्यम् अत्र प्रमाता कः? केन प्रमात्रा इदं प्रमेयं प्रमीयते इति अस्माभिः वक्तव्यम्. So if you say it's a प्रमेयं, you should say who is the pramata there. अत्र उत्तरं किं भवति? अहमेव प्रमाता, अहमेव तद् अस्ति इति अहं पश्यामि इति वदामः चेत् अत्र अहं कः इति प्रश्नः करणीयः. अत्र अहमपि पुनः शास्त्रदृष्ट्या किम् उच्यते? अहमपि आत्मा इति उच्यते. अतः आत्मा आत्मानं पश्यति इति तत्र भावः भवति. अतः प्रमाता अपि आत्मा भवति, प्रमेयः अपि आत्मा भवति चेत् तद् वस्तुतः शास्त्रविरोधं भवति. यतः तत्र आत्मा कर्ता अस्ति, स एव आत्मा कर्म अपि अस्ति इति कारणेन तत्र कर्तृकर्म विरोधः भवति. So this is some technical topic. Same object cannot be same one thing cannot be subject and object. It's like similar to you cannot see your own eye with your own eyes. So something similar to that. That same object or same thing cannot become subject and object at the same time. So if that becomes, it is called actually कर्तृकर्म विरोधः. अत्र कर्तृकर्म विरोधत्वात् तत्र आत्मा प्रमाता न भवति, पुनः आत्मा प्रमेयः अपि न भवति. अतः आत्मा अप्रमेयः. यदि आत्मा प्रमाता भवति तर्हि आत्मा कर्ता अपि भवति. पुनः आत्मा अकर्ता इति अस्माभिः अग्रे समर्थ्यते. अतः आत्मा अकर्ता अप्रमाता, अतः अप्रमेयः आत्मा इति तत्र अस्माभिः अवगन्तव्यम्. So if you want to forget about all these discussion, in simple takeaway is Atma is aprameyaha. It cannot be measured or it cannot be seen or witnessed. So that's the final takeaway from this shloka. Agre kim uchyate tasmat yudhyasva bharata. So here some vichara is done. Atra yudhyasva ityenena sarvaihi kim grihitam bhavati chet. Atra Bhagavad Gita yuddham karoti iti bodhayati iti सर्वैः सामान्यैः गृह्यते. अत्र प्रसङ्गः युद्धप्रसङ्गः इति कारणेन कृष्णेन तथा युध्यस्व इति शब्दः प्रयुक्तः. वस्तुतः युद्धं तु अर्जुनस्य स्वधर्मः वर्तते. अतः अस्माभिः पूर्वं चर्चितम्. अत्र स्वधर्मं परित्यक्त्वा अर्जुनः भिक्षाटनं कर्तुमपि सिद्धः अभवत्. अतः परधर्माचरणमपि कर्तुं सः सिद्धः अभवत्, परन्तु स्वधर्मं त्यक्तुम् इच्छति. परन्तु अर्जुनस्य स्वधर्मः युद्धकरणमेव. अतः युध्यस्व इति इत्यत्र कः अर्थः अस्माभिः स्वीकरणीयः इति चेत् स्वधर्मं कुरु इति अर्थः स्वीकरणीयः. सो तस्मात् युध्यस्व मीन्स् सो यु पर्फार्म् युवर् ड्यूटी. सो तथा अर्थः अस्माभिः स्वीकरणीयः, न युद्धं कुरु इति साक्षात् अर्थः न स्वीकरणीयः. तस्मात् युध्यस्व युद्धात् उपरमं मा कार्षीः इति अर्थः. सो तस्मात् युध्यस्व मीन्स् do not run away or do not disengage yourself from yuddha. So that's the actual meaning intended. It's not a meaning of you get involved in fight. That is because yuddham is your swadharma. You already came here to fight or to do your dharma or to do your duty. So do not take a step back. And that is what actually intended with this tasmat yudhyasva. Tasmat yudhyasva yuddhat uparamam ma karshihi ityartha. Nahi atra yuddha kartavyata vidhiyate. So it is not instructing you to go and fight. Yuddhe pravritte evahi asau shoka moha pratibaddha tushnim aste. Because it doesn't instruct him to get into yuddham, because he is already he is engaged in the fight. Yuddhe pravrittaha eva he haso. He is already engaged in the fight. And shoka moha pratibaddha tushnimaste. After engaging, because he got shoka and moha, because of it, he died and he is sitting silent. And now he is actually instructing him to, you leave shoka and moha, you continue with your duty. That's what the intention of Yudhyasva, but not to go and fight. Okay, so I think you are able to get the difference. So it is not a vidhivakyam. That's what Shankara tries to say. It's not saying, it doesn't say that you go and fight. It says you do your duty which you are already started to do. And ataha tasya pratibandhapanayana matram bhagavata kriyate. So he just removes that pratibandha, that is shoka moha pratibandha. He removes the shoka moha pratibandha. Now you go and continue your duty. That's what Bhagavan says. Tasmat yudhyasva iti anuvada matram na vidhi. It is not an instruction given by Bhagavan. You must go and fight. He doesn't say that. He says you are supposed to fight. You already engaged to fight. And because of shoka moha, you left and come back. So don't come back. You go and continue with your duty. So that's what he says. And shoka mohadi samsara karana nivrityartham Gita Shastram na pravartakam ityetasya arthasya sakshi bhute ruchau aninaya Bhagavan. So if you say, okay, there is a Purva Paksha, they come and say, because Yudhyasva, Gita Shastram actually encourages you to do the karma, right? But that way, Gita Shastram has come to promote the karma, but not, its main intention is to promote the karma, not shoka moha nivaranam. If there are some set of people, it's called Purva Paksha, they say that the main aim of Gita Shastram is to get into your duty. And shoka moha nivaranam is not the primary objective of Gita Shastram. And continuing your duty is your primary intention. That's the primary objective of Gita Shastram. And that's what the Purva Paksha says. But Shankara says that is not the case. The Gita Shastram's main aim is shoka moha nivaranameva Gita Shastrasya pratamaha udyamaha. Tatra byproduct is getting engaged in the karma. That's a different thing. So to prove that, there are two other shlokas coming next to it. So that's what he says, and he completes it. So there are two additional shlokas, the whatever comes next. They say that Gita Shastram's main one is to remove shoka and moha, not encouraging you to get into karma. So that's what he tries to say. Yattu manyase yuddhe Bhishma Dronadayah maya hanyante ahameva tesham hanta iti esha buddhihi vrishayivate. Okay, this is part of next one. We'll talk about it. Okay, so atra prashnaha asti va? So the main two things here we need to discuss is the aprameya, we discussed in detail, and the second one is yudhyasva. So the same thought or same concept we need to apply wherever we say yuddham kuru, yudhyasva, we get in the remaining part of Bhagavad Gita, because there are some lot of misinterpretations of yudhyasva. They say that Bhagavad Gita promotes the violence. It's not promoting violence. It is mainly asking you to continue your duty, because it is a yuddha prasanga. He uses the kriya padam called yudhyasva, but actual intention is you should continue doing your duty by leaving all your shoka and moha. So that's the overall lesson we have to take. So atra prashnaha asti va?
Namaste Mahodaya.
Namaste.
अस्मिन् श्लोके भवान् वदति यत् आत्मा आत्मानं पश्यति. आत्मा इस् कर्ता, आत्मानं कर्म, which is contradictory. He said because आत्मा इति अप्रमेयः. तत्तु अवगतम्. परन्तु एकस्मिन् श्लोके
ब्रह्मैव ब्रह्मणाहुतम्. All these things are coming later.
ध्यानेनात्मना पश्यन्ति केचित् आत्मानम् आत्मना. How they can see? That is my doubt.
Okay. That is exactly discussed in the next shloka. So the same thing, okay. Even if you see in the later sections, Brahma Ahuti, right? Ahuti. So in the same shloka, everything is Brahma. How can a Brahma can be a karta, karma, karanam, and everything? Right. So that's the same thing we are going to discuss in the next shloka.
Okay. Dhanyavada.
Yeah. So in short, the next shloka tries to say Atma is akarta, abhokta. So that's the final Shirshakam or the short message that we can get from the next shloka. The next shloka clearly says akarta, and that is where we will have all this discussion. Why in the Atma Atmana Atmanam Pashyati iti. This is a very famous one. Actually, Atma Atmana Atmanam Pashyati iti. So how all these things are valid, that we'll see here. Astu. And there is one more thing also we have seen in the previous one, that is Atma Vyapakaha Bhavati. So that again relates something to this particular shloka. We will talk about it actually. So that is all for today. Thank you all for watching this video online. If you have any questions or feedback, you can post them in the comment section below. You have a feedback form as well in the description. You can fill that feedback form if you want to share anything. Please share this with your friends and interested people. Let us meet in the next session. Dhanyavadaha.